drug. People crave
Hold on.
companionship, but without the awkwardness of human interaction, like making eye contact or, God forbid, engaging in small talk. That's why AI chatbots have exploded in popularity. Just look at Amaranth's AI companion, which pulled a staggering $34,000 in a
What the actual fuck?
single day. And she's not alone. There are now entire websites dedicated to letting people talk to AI versions of
Yeah,
celebrities.
just go outside. Go be happy. Just holy shit, not
Although, I
this.
can't tell if this is supposed
Also,
to be
hello,
Miley
Nami,
Cyrus
welcome
as a
in.
failed Barbie prototype, or Jennifer Lopez if she got deepfaked into the Eternals sequel that nobody asked for. While some are completely against AI clones, others see it as a way to control the inevitable. And AI isn't just taking over influencers. VTubers have entire bootleg AI clones with hundreds of
Hello,
thousands
Dave.
of followers.
Astray hates us. He wants us not to be here with him. Listen, if I ever said that, I legit, I would never say that in my life. Like, realistically speaking, why would I want to ruin every single thing I built up for 6 years? It just seems it's stupid. Eat pennies? What the
That's
fuck?
why some VTubers, just like influencers,
We're
are getting
watching VTuber drama sort of thing. They stole this VTuber identity and bankrupt her fans overnight.
ahead of the problem by making their own AI versions. Not because they love AI, but because they'd rather control what's being said and done in their name than let some random creep profit off of them. And one of these VTubers is Filian. Filian is a very popular VTuber known for her high energy content and insane VR parkour skills. Sitting at almost 3 million subs, last year she was ranked 4th most popular VTuber worldwide on YouTube,
Jesus
ranking
Christ.
just below other powerhouses such as Gargura, Hosho Marine, and Kizuna Ai. Filian also has an AI chatbot, which, whatever features it includes, is something she's comfortable with and has control over. Unlike those bootleg AI clones, which are made without the creator's consent, Filian's AI chatbot exists on her own terms. But what happens when a VTuber doesn't get to control their image? Because while Filian was minding her own business, someone else was pretending to be her. A full-on
I don't know, dude. I just not, I'm not really into Filian because it's literally just a basic model. She bought it off someone, and it's not even, I don't know, bro. It's not even her own design. It's just they used it and everyone just got attached to it. But it's not even a custom VTuber design. It's a base model that she sort of used. So it's like, I don't know, bro.
Scam designed to milk thousands of dollars from her fanbase. And the craziest part, a lot of people, including actual VTubers, fell for it. And then there's this account. At first glance, it looks like Filian's secret not safe for work account. Maybe something she
Not
wanted
really
to
in the
keep on
mono,
the down
yeah.
low. A few content creators actually do this to separate their loot content from their main brand. Shy Lily, for example, has a separate space for spicier content, and Cinder has her own not safe for work persona distinct from her safe for work content on Twitter. The account seemed legit enough that even VTuber mutuals followed it, and I'm sure most of them had no clue it was actually Filian. Honestly, I didn't even realize it was fake at first either. It was that convincing. To confuse people even further, this fake Filian shamelessly replied to a tweet from the VTuber Awards, an event that Filian herself was actually hosting. They even posted a video of themselves dancing, and somehow it racked up over 1.1k likes, which obviously means a lot of people genuinely believed it was her. When we look at this account, we see that it first started posting on September 27, and in just 1 month, it had already reached 5,000 followers. That's an absurd growth rate for an account with no verification, no official backing, and no connection to the real Filian, aside from outright impersonating her. But why would someone go through all of this effort? Well, once you look at their Patreon, everything starts to make sense. Their tiers go up to $100, and even
Has
at
she?
their lowest tier,
Jeez.
they were making around $3,820 per month.
Oh my, that is fucking nutty.
That alone is nothing to
I
stop.
really hate how porn runs the world. There's so many gooners that just pay for this shit. Yeah, and just OnlyFans and just that just it's just so man. Like why bother working a job? Why bother going to work, driving an hour, working your job when there's just girls out there selling their bodies and making millions? Like it depresses me, man. Like, what kind of world are we becoming where it's just hard work doesn't mean anything anymore? I don't know. That's just my opinion, though.
But it gets even worse. It was later revealed that this account was earning between $18,000 and 20 grand per month from Fansly.
Fucking
and suddenly,
Christ.
the extent of their lies and manipulation starts to make a lot more sense. And how were they making that kind of money? By using Filian's Jingo model to post thirst bait content and sell explicit material to her fans. At this point, this wasn't just impersonation. It was straight up identity theft for profit. They even released full or half-nude Fansly sets.
How the fuck does this not get her attention? Like, you think if she's on Twitter so much, she'd notice this and like take it down?
To cater to Filian's fan base. But here's the key difference.
I know. That's what I'm saying, Devil. I feel like VTubing, you should at least like, make your own model. I feel like being a VTuber is being known for you and not just known for the model. So it's just
nothing like the content Filian actually makes. Filian has always pushed for family-friendly content, and nothing about this not safe for work material aligns with her brand. For months, Filian VR was able to operate without any real issues since its creation in September 2024. But that changed when the account went on a brief hiatus right after losing their Fansly account. Then after some time away, Filian VR returned with a statement claiming that their Fansly account had been permanently banned with no warnings due to an alleged breach of Fansly's term of service. According to them, this resulted in the loss of their entire subscriber list, all earned revenue messages, and content hosted on the platform. But conveniently, they had already backed up everything beforehand. They also claimed that Fansly support never responded, implying that the platform unfairly withheld their funds. And then came the dramatic finger pointing, shifting all the blame onto Fansly. They wrote, "I am deeply disappointed and concerned by Fansly's lack of transparency and accountability. Moving forward, I'll be using platforms that prioritize creators and their communities, starting with Patreon." This post went somewhat viral, but not just because people felt outraged. They also reposted it
people won't recognize her.
Which snowballed into making even more people aware of this account, including myself. The replies were mixed bags. Some people genuinely believed they were wrong, while others started to connect the dots. One user even suggested that if Fansly really did take their money with no warning, they could sue the platform, calling it a corrupt business decision that's taking advantage of you. Of course, there was one little problem with that argument, but we'll get to that later. The real crazy part is that this ban was completely predictable. I mean, of course Fansly is going to ban you when you're impersonating someone who is already on that platform, and not just a creator, but one of Fansly's official partners. But that's a tiny little detail that Filian VR conveniently forgot to mention to their fans. Now, I'm sure a small portion of their Fansly subscribers didn't actually care that this wasn't Filian. Some people just want anime titties and move on with their day. But let's be real, most of them were there just because of the likeness to Filian. So if Filian VR had actually been honest and explicitly stated, "Hey, just so you know, I'm actually not Filian, I just use her model, branding, and fanbase to sell my content," they would have lost a massive chunk of their revenue overnight. After the ban and this announcement, some people started picking up on their con. However, opinions were still divided. Some people defended Filian VR by arguing that since Filian hadn't adhered to her model maker's guidelines, it was fair game to use her likeness for profit. This situation echoed a controversy last year when a Nendoroid figure of Filian was publicly announced. However, the project clashed with her model's maker's terms of service, as Filian hadn't fully complied with the agreed upon terms. This led to significant backlash, and ultimately resulting in the cancellation of the Nendoroid. Following discussions with the model creator, Filian and Jingo were able to resolve the matter privately, with Filian ensuring compliance with the terms of service moving forward. However, using that argument to defend the impersonators is an absolutely wild level of copium. There's a huge difference between simply using the same free-to-use model and what Filian VR is doing. What they're engaging in is outright brand hijacking. Brand hijacking is the unauthorized use of a brand for negative or fraudulent purposes. This can include impersonating.
But it's so weird because like it's just a model. Like anyone can do this. And I don't know, like it's just if she had a VTuber model that was like purely custom, this really wouldn't be an issue.
A brand identity.
Like the dude could not steal it and like use it for his own purpose.
Logo to spread false information, increase personal gain, promote a competitor's brand, or engage in scams. Brand jacking can significantly harm a business reputation and lead to customer mistrust. Impersonation on social media involves the creation of fake accounts that mimic powerful brands to deceive or manipulate users. Impersonators research and present themselves using the brand's persona, resulting in damaging effects. And that's exactly what's happening here. A brand isn't just about a model or a logo, it's about everything that defines that creator. That includes their fanbase name, their identity and likeness, their mannerism and personality, and their content style. Filian VR wasn't just copying Filian's model, they were copying her entire presence to profit from her fanbase. And if we start opening the door to this kind of impersonation, we're looking at a floodgate of influencer clones, all set up to siphon money from clueless fans. So whether you like Filian or not shouldn't even matter here. This isn't about personal preferences, it's about basic integrity. This account wasn't creating quality content, it wasn't putting in the time and effort to build a fanbase, and it wasn't trying to establish itself as its own thing, and that deserves to be called out. Meanwhile, some other criticized Filian VR, calling them out directly. That's what happens when you impersonate someone that's already on their site. Why not try something else and not ride the fame coattails of someone else's success? Be glad they're nice. I would have sued you for likeness of character, use of brand image, and more. You got taken down because you're copying Filian and not the model, but the whole brand and how she is. Cool. Thank you for letting us know so we can go report you there as well. Another account, Hojo-sama, chimed in on the situation. Clever name, I see what you did here. They shared their thoughts on the impersonation, saying, "Can I just say how fucked up it is that this account has been around for as long as it has? If someone was sexually role-playing as me, copied my mannerism, speech, and personality, I'd be horrified. This is not okay, and you should not be supporting this account." They also pointed out that Filian VR even used snackers to refer to their fans, a term Filian has already established, making it even more obvious that this wasn't just a coincidence. It was deliberate impersonation. Hojo-sama then added that a ton of people genuinely believe Filian VR was the real Filian, saying there is no media literacy anymore. And honestly, they're right. For example, even the Filian Virus fan account, which is supposed to support Filian, was convinced that Filian VR and Filian were the same. A lot of snackers follow her, and a few of her hired clippers follow her, and her content is no different than what Filian herself offers on Fansly in DMs, so a lot of us have just accepted her. Some of us think it's an alt, but either way, Filian's team was made aware of her a while ago, so if it isn't her, then I would have expected action or a statement or something on either side. I'm not sure if it's her or not, but I also don't really care. Again, the content she tweets is the same as what Filian gives on Fansly. To make things even more ridiculous, Filian doesn't even create pornographic content on her Fansly. In fact, she has consistently pushed for family-friendly content instead.
You already have OnlyFans. Fansly.
No, please stop.
Is there pornography?
No, there's not.
Signing up right now. What the hell?
Chat, she's lying.
Bad dragon? What the hell is that?
Let's stop talking about this. I don't like this conversation anymore.
Free lewd pictures if I spend $200?
So as you can see, most people
I don't know. I mean, legit. I want to get big, right? But it's like I can't help feeling just. It sucks that there's so many popular female VTubers out there, and if you look at popular male VTubers, you can only count like a handful. And again, I really just want to prove people wrong that you can make it as a guy. It's not impossible. But it's hard. It's harder, yeah. But I want to show people that I can do it, you know? I feel like it's not impossible. It's just, you know, as long as you keep going, I feel like you're fine. So, hello, Vade. Welcome in. Okay, got me, dude.
people had no idea what was actually going on, and opinions were all over the place. But then, something happened. Something that would completely expose the extent of their
Long-term
lies,
success, real.
abuse, and manipulations. And what was revealed? Well, it was actually disgusting. On February 17, a user
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like, men just need to either be funny as fuck or just have some kind of talent. Otherwise, like, you're screwed. I mean, again, like, that's why I struggled for years, right? Since I just thought, I legit thought I wasn't good enough, deadass. Yeah, like, literally, even after I got my mono, you know, I noticed my views not going up, and I just felt, I felt utterly depressed. I felt like I failed for years. But you guys have proved me wrong. Like, Leaf and Rana have been supporting me so much, and I don't want to use Leaf for that. I never want to use Leaf because out of the kindness of her heart, she's been raiding me every night with 500 to 1,000 people every fucking night. Like, she told me she's had friends in the past that used her for this, used her for her size, and as soon as they grow big, they just leave her. I don't want to do that. That's scummy as fuck. That is deplorable. And what goes through these people's heads, dude? Like, why wouldn't you stay with the people that lifted you up and just made something out of you? Why would you immediately go the route of egotistical streamer bullshit? I can't understand it.
named Mizukuro dropped a
Also, hello,
bombshell,
Core.
tweeting leaked logs and conversation from behind the scenes on VR. And here's where things got even crazier. It turns out this wasn't just one person running the account, it was actually two. The mastermind behind
Everyone
it
sell
was
a kidney.
VRC, while the
Hold
person
on, everyone sell a kidney and we'll get there. Ain't no way. 100k is not impossible. It's simply further away. Stop alternating the deal. I'm not. What do you mean? It's 1,000 for the Nya redeem and 100,000 for the femboy tag, and that is never gonna happen.
filming the content was Vexy VRC, two men. So not only was
Crazy.
Filian VR impersonating Phil, but they also catfished their audience in 3 different ways. 1, they weren't Filian. 2, they weren't even female. And 3, they weren't just one person,
Nah, I
there
figured.
were two of them running this account. At this point, this wasn't just an impersonation scam. It was a full-blown performance, carefully orchestrated
No, okay, yeah. Chat bully me. It is gonna be my voice doing it. So
over months to mislead and profit off Filian's audience. The screenshots are pretty brutal to read. They admit to a bunch of things, showing just how much planning and scheming went into this whole operation. They also
wow.
dropped the hard N words like multiple times for absolutely no reason. But most of all, it really shows that they only saw Filian and her audience as walking money bags and nothing more. Mizukuro also adds, Vexy shared it all with me. All the receipts I got from our DMs. He found wise to screen cap his DMs with Devious in a couple occasions and send them to me, then never deleted them. In the screenshots, Vexy crassly explains how this all started. He made a Twitter account under the name Filian with one clear goal, to make good money. Okay, so I recently made a Twitter by the name of Filian. I made the avatar in like 5 minutes and called it a day. I started posting pics with the intention of creating a fansly.
Oh my god, this is like evil. This is vile, dude. People will, again, these guys made 18k to 20k a month. Oh my god.
Using the same avatar Filian is using and a similar name. It blew up like crazy, and I think it could make some good money, XD. Then they went on to explain how they got to this idea in the first place. Back when the whole Filian drama was happening with her trying to monetize a model which wasn't even hers, it made me think, damn, if it's not her model, why not just make porn of it and earn moolah? And they weren't subtle about it either. In another log, they straight up admitted their entire goal. Yeah, I want to give this one a shot and see if I could ride the fame of Filian. And if this wasn't blatant enough, in another screenshot they proudly show off their 1 million impressions in just 7 days, adding, yeah, I think people like Filian, might as well make her look like a whore. This wasn't just some fan project.
You know, the sad thing is they probably got away with it. They probably got away with a good chunk of change, maybe like 80k.
This was premeditated,
maybe more,
calculated, and openly exploitative. As if impersonating Filian wasn't enough, the duo also set up fake donation goals for things like full body tracking and face tracking, despite already owning everything they needed for VR. It was just another cash grab designed to squeeze as much money as possible from their audience.
See, again, I never want to do this, right? I never want to be a human pile of garbage like this. I value hard work more than anything, and again, that's why I did this for 6 goddamn years. I want my dream to come true. No matter how hard the road is, no matter how much time I put into it, I want to see this through. I have never been more passionate about anything in my life. So, I'd rather not take just a shitty path, essentially. And again, this is why I truly, truly appreciate you guys for giving me your time. Because time, at the end of the day, is the most important thing. And I'm just glad I can be entertaining for you guys. So, thank you for that.
As if they were little pay piggies. Mizukuro also points out, then drain their money with explicit content over Fansly. Mind you, Filian doesn't do that kind of content, but does have a Fansly page with no explicit content. Then we get to these screenshots where Vexy casually discusses their pricing strategy. They suggest charging $100 for 5-minute explicit video and $50 for a twerking video. At one point, Mizukuro asks how they plan to handle the voice, to which Vexy responds, I'm just gonna use PC's audio. I do have a Filian AI voice, but I think that would cross the line. Mizu chimes in, yeah,
patience is a virtue. So, if I just keep going, I know I can do this full time, because I literally want, oh my god, hello fun. I literally want 3 things from VTubing, right? I said this when I started VTubing 6 years ago, but I want, 1, I want to do this full time someday. I've never been more passionate about anything. 2, I want to pay off my parents' retirement. I just want to pay off whatever debt they may have. And 3, I just want to make you guys happy. That's it. Literally it. I don't need anything else in my life.
Beating the impersonation allegations if you use her voice. And Vexy, yeah, better safe
What
than
I
sorry.
want from you VTubing is to become a millionaire. Dude, that'd be goddamn amazing, man. Oh my god.
Managed to get approved on Fansly though. God bless. In another
I want the
screenshot,
fanboy tag. That's not gonna happen until 100,000.
Kuro confronts Vexy about their fake full-body tracking donation goal, asking why they didn't just admit to already owning it. And Vexy's response? Needed a good reason for people to donate. The next leak logs take place right after Fansly
Fuck
shut
these
down
guys.
their account. By that point, they had already made $18,000 that month, but they only managed to withdraw $7,000 before their account was shut down. With the rest of their
Okay,
money
thank fucking god.
locked up, they quickly start panicking. And what they do next only makes things worse. At this point, Vexy starts to freak out to the point of having a panic attack over the possibility that Filian could sue them. They thought it was unfair, arguing that they were just using a public model that anyone could buy. But deep down, they knew they were in dangerous territory. What if she sued?
Wait, be the VTuber that Leon believes in. Remain true to your friends and family and keep that good, strong, moral character. I will. For Leon!
Excuse me, they say. They were fully aware they were violating rights of publicity, which protects people from having their image or likeness used without consent. Devious tries to calm down Vexy, saying, rights of publicity is more for real people. Filian isn't trademarked. Then, as if that somehow makes it okay, they add, we have a comment explicitly stating that we're
Oh
not
my,
in person.
look at this fucking scumbag, dude. If Fansly doesn't reply in 3 days, we can shift to Patreon. Actual loser behavior.
Anyone. If Fansly doesn't reply in 3 days, we can just shift to Patreon. But Vexy wasn't convinced, responding, it doesn't need to be copyrighted. If it can be proven that we are using her image for gain, that would be enough. Indeed, they knew exactly what they were doing, and now that they were facing real consequences, they were scrambling. After losing their Fansly account, they started debating whether they should change the account name. But Vexy is too busy freaking out over a much bigger concern. They wonder if Filian actually filed a lawsuit against them, since everything is in his name and he's panicking hard. Devious VRC tries to reassure him, replies, if they filed a lawsuit, you'd be the first person to know about it. Then he brushes off the whole situation, saying, I'm more confident that our Fansly account just got mass reported by White Knights Filian fans. Fansly probably just saw a ton of reports and thought, let's just shut it down. And then adds, I doubt Filian took any legal actions. It's too much work. Most of the exchange is just Vexy spiraling, worried about the lawsuit, and then suddenly shifting to worrying about their taxes because they just lost a huge chunk of their income. Once they finally got Fansly's official response, they immediately start plotting their next move, which of course was to jump over to Patreon. And that's when they made that infamous fake announcement. So what happened next? In the logs, at this point, Devious wants to make an announcement to explain what happened. He argues that if they don't say anything, people might feel like they got scammed. Or worse, that the Filian VR account just pocketed the money and dipped. But no, they weren't about to disappear. They were making way too much money to just walk away now.
Hello, Arth. Welcome in.
Devious suggests that they announce their Fansly ban and tell supporters to contact Fansly for a refund. Vexy, however, is not on board. He's terrified that if hundreds of people demand refunds, Fansly will take the money directly from his account, potentially deducting up to $7,000 from his balance. He doesn't want to risk it, so instead they settle on a different plan, offering everyone a free subscription to their new Patreon instead. And that's how that brilliant idea came to be. Not out of selflessness, not because they cared about fairness or they cared about their fans, but because they wanted to make sure that none of that money came out of their own pockets. In fact, the only reason they rushed to make the announcement was because they were worried that if they waited too long, someone else might steal their idea and take over. If we make an official statement saying we care about our supporters but can't do much since it's under Fansly
Dude, what actual pieces of shit these dudes are. Holy fuck.
jurisdiction, We can show that we actually did research and tried to contact Fansly to get them refunded. That's a lot of work. $18,000 worth of subs, right? Vexy responds, we had around 800 people, but not everyone is gonna DM. I can handle it when the time comes. I just don't want to risk even one bit that Fansly comes after me for the $7,000. They'll be minus $7,000 if they refund everyone, and I'm feeling way too paranoid to let that happen. So in the end, they didn't even bother trying to get their fans refunds. Not because they couldn't, but because they didn't want to lose a single cent from their own earnings. Throughout all of this, they keep bringing up this idea of changing the account name, realizing that keeping Filian VR might make them an even bigger target. Thank you. If we ever do a Patreon or OnlyFans, I would really appreciate if we could change Twitter and Patreon OnlyFans name. Okay, so to understand, you want it to be completely ready and set up by the end of the week. We would need to think of a new name. So this would explain why now their Patreon page is named Jillian VR. So they finally did go through with the name change, but basically they just ended up changing a single letter. Even after getting banned, they weren't about to give up their scam. Instead, they started planning how to keep it going, including drafting a fake statement to make Fansly look anti-creator, shifting all the blame onto the platform, even though they knew exactly why they got shut down. Mizukuro adds, at one point they were even considering creating a fake company to generate invoices so Devious could get paid through his girlfriend's business. I personally don't know if they actually went through with it, but considering everything else they did, it's very likely, despite all the advice I gave against it. As the plan got more questionable, Vexy starts freaking out, getting increasingly worried about the idea of creating a fake company just to funnel Devious's earnings. He even complained about it to Mizukuro, sharing DMs with Devious to express how uncomfortable he was with this idea. At this point, they weren't just impersonators, they were actively brainstorming ways to commit fraud just to keep their scam alive. Mizu then has enough and directly confronts Vexy, trying to talk some sense into him. They scorn Vexy, telling him that he's blindly chasing money and ignoring the obvious red flags in this situation. You're still doing a shady business with shady people. A million things could go and will go wrong simply because this is shady at its core. But you're literally blinded by the money to the point where you're convincing yourself that this is gonna be fine. Vexy, of course, tries to defend himself. But we're not directly associating with Filian anymore. We're changing both the name and the model. We're not even using her likeness anymore since we're shifting away. He then insists that he would shut the whole thing down if there was a good reason to, before turning the argument back on Mizu, saying, didn't you yourself say that you'd create a modified Rindo model with a unique name? In one sense, would that be considered shady? I already explained to you in length what I think of Devious and his girlfriend based on all the conversation you've sent me. All the signals are there. The fact that you're still willing and somehow even trust them is insane to me. There's no debate here. I can tell you that you would be an absolute fool to put any trust on people as money hungry as those two. It's right there on the cards. Doesn't take a psychologist to see that they don't care about you and that they see you as replaceable. This whole project is not something worth a debate club. You are doing a shady business, illegal business, you are taking advantage of the earned popularity of someone else and actively trying to hurt their earning by taking advantage of the situation. These are facts. The question here is if you can live with yourself and the consequences of those actions. Vexy responds, this is why the idea I propose to them is going to be based on my terms and not theirs. If they don't like the terms I give them, they're free to leave, even if they see me as replaceable. They would essentially become the ones that are replaceable to me. I am the owner of the page. The income goes into my business account. I created a contract and made them sign it. If there is anything they do that I dislike, I can fire them. I might not be on best terms with them, but there's nothing they can do given the fact that they accepted my proposition. What is one thing they could do to ruin everything despite the measures I'm taking? In my opinion, I wouldn't say it's illegal to—
Oh my god, these people are just actual scum of the earth, dude. Look how much reassuring they need to do when it's not even any work whatsoever. They're not putting in any fucking effort. They're using someone else's likeness to gain money. Fuck these people.
Create a persona which holds a unique name, completely unrelated to hers, with modifications done to the model so it doesn't look like Filian. If you do, I would love to hear why. It's funny to me that you think that just because you can fire them, they at the same time can't rat you out or anyone involved. If companies were that simple, I'm sure upper management would be super happy of being there so they can do their insider tradings and shady businesses, since, you know, if the bottom people complain, then you fire them and that's it, right? Think about that to yourself for a moment and consider that you don't have as much power over the situation and they can take you down just as much as you can fire them. You're creating so many points of failure with untrustworthy people that, again, insanity that you are even pondering the idea. Which things would they be able to rat me out for? To my knowledge, I've made sure that the whole foundation and process of the operation is legal. I am legally hiring someone to work for me, pay them their salary, work on my Patreon page, which doesn't intrude on Filian's likeness. I mean, I'm not sure why you care about what I have to say at this point. You've already made up your mind on doing shady business with untrustworthy people that call you an N-word while you're having a panic attack. You clearly don't care about what I have to say, so what's the point of this? I'm not gonna help you make your fake company a tight ship. I don't want any implications on that. I'm just telling you how it is, that it is shady, that the whole operation can be taken down, and that you're also hurting Filian even if you change the model. Vexy responds that he does care about his friend's feeling and that he does want to hear his side, but continues to maintain that he's not running a fake company, that is a real, genuine company and as real as any other ones out there, and that he's following the legal process for a legit and registered company, and that he's going to have it in his name. Come January, they
why are
posted...
like so many shitty people are just absolutely delusional? I don't understand.
Their made-up statement about being disappointed on Fansly for their decision as if they didn't do anything wrong, and opened a Patreon which is still up as of writing this. These two are racking in 15k to 20k a month from leeching off her success. And they know it's immoral, selfish, and in the case of Devious, illegal in many ways by the Singaporean law. If you are a fan of Filian's, consider not supporting this account and its Patreon in any way. It's run by people that despise Filian, want to ride her fame with cheaply made explicit content, and by their own words, make her look like a whore. In the next part of the conversation, Vexy lists a few of the potential laws they would have broken if they went through with this idea. Distribution of porn, illegal in Singapore, falsifying documents, the invoices, double work, Devious working 2 jobs illegally, and illegal and undeclared work, Devious helping to work on Filian and not declaring it. Fraud, deception performed by them to pursue personal financial gain, and both of them would get these charges if busted, talking about Devious and his girlfriend. However, after Mizukuro's and Vexy's heated exchange, Vexy still reflects on the argument, saying, "In the context of the conversation, you said I was spinning to deflect criticism and trying to justify my leeching, which I feel wasn't the case. I know that it's immoral and selfish." But then he adds, "If you feel like this choice has set us further apart, then okay, I don't intend to stop you. While I do value friendships, I also value opportunities that can help me reach my current goal of moving out and being able to sustain myself while I study full-time." By this point, Mizu had already spent weeks trying to talk Vexy out of this whole situation, especially after the Fansly ban put them in hot water. So when Vexy jumped back into it without even telling them, it was a break-in point for their friendship. Their conversation kept looping, Vexy insisting that there was nothing wrong with what they were doing, while Mizu felt like all the time they spent trying to talk sense into him had been completely wasted. I actually managed to confirm this part myself by speaking directly to Mizukuro, who explained how their friendship kept growing more distant after that argument. Even after this, they didn't immediately cut ties, but in the days leading up to the expose, Mizu gave Vexy one last chance to address the situation. We can imagine how that last conversation turned out. So then, Mizu had seen enough and decided to expose everything, dropping the tweets that would blow this entire scheme wide open. After the logs were leaked, Devious changed his Discord profile and username to "You Found Me," as sort of a taunt to audiences and Mizukuro. Shortly after, they attempted to change their Discord profile picture again and name, seemingly in response to the situation. On top of that, Devious has gone into hiding and even privated his Twitter account. But even so, let's take a look at the pictures he shared in his bio, the ones he so graciously wants his followers and defenders to see. Remember guys, if your friend is successful, make sure to be jealous and not to celebrate. Share whatever your friend trusted you with. Private messages are public messages. Backstab them for your clout. This is key to a genuine friendship.
Yeah, this is literally what like probably 60% of VTubers do, bro. It's so sad.
He also has made this image his banner, calling Mizu got cooked, bro. And it reads, I tried manipulating Vexy so that he would stop spending time being successful and spend time with my virgin ass instead. But that didn't work. I'll leak the DMs he trusted with me. That will surely make him come back to me. Anyway, my basic as asset will be out tomorrow on Booth for $5. What? Why is my Pookie still talking to that manipulator Devious? Why would Vexy pick Devious over
Yapping.
me? It's not like I backstabbed my best friend.
So
and he-
basically these dudes used Filian's likeness to like fake people on like Fansly and Patreon, and they got like maybe 20k for it.
to always
USD.
be in control, and then followed with a picture from his Twitter statistics saying lol, thanks for the free marketing. Then he picks apart the logs between Mizukuro and Vexy, making fun of Mizukuro and adding, yes Vexy, please learn to have better companions.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know why the fuck people didn't actually like verify this, you know? I mean, holy shit, gooners are insane.
I'm the perfect friend who you trusted and totally didn't publicly shame you with screenshots. I exposed everything for your own good, not because I'm jealous or wanted to advertise my low effort assets on Booth. I'm waiting for you, Pookie. Please come back to me because I have no other friends. Beyond Filian, this situation may also affect the creators of the R18 assets used in the content. For example, creating not safe for work materials of these models require additional assets beyond what the standard Jingle model uses. This is evident in one of the leaked screenshots where Vexy is seen sharing an R18 asset. One such asset is a Squirt asset sold by a Booth creator. However, upon closer inspection,
Also,
its
thank you
terms
for
of
the
services
Oscar
explicitly states that its use is restricted to private settings and that public use is prohibited. Given these restrictions, Vexy and Devious
I'm
may
just
be
surprised.
in
Hold on.
direct violation of the asset's creator's right by using it for public
I'm just shocked these guys didn't get arrested for this. Like, they're committing multiple felonies at this point.
content on social media and Patreon, which is also considered a social media platform. Since the expose, more people have started pushing back, using community notes to flag posts and bring awareness to the fact that this isn't actually Filian. Additionally, several people have been referencing Mizukuro's tweet in pinned replies and under announcement posts, but those replies are now actively being hidden by Devious and Vexy. Even now, they're still trying to control the narrative, hiding any evidence that could expose them further. The big question is, will this con keep going? Let's see if their disclaimer about not impersonating anyone that is only accessible if you click see more in their bio will be enough to shield them from legal troubles, or if this is just delaying the inevitable. And honestly, I have to wonder, how many of Filian's Patreon subscribers are going to keep renewing their memberships after finding out the cute anime?
Okay, yeah, this was like a year ago, so I'm very unsure if this whole saga continued. But yeah, I think that's it. All right.